Part 1, Chapter 1. The Physiology of Intuition. Every single one of us will experience our intuition differently. That's why reading a book on the meanings of symbols can sometimes be misleading. While those symbols are relevant for that particular author, for you, the signs that come up through your intuition may be completely different. There are many different definitions of intuition, as what constitutes intuition to one person does not look at the same to another. Some people recognize it as a connection with God and their guardian angels. For others, it's simply a gut feeling or an inner knowingness about what they need to do. For others still, it's the guidance received during psychic readings. All of these definitions are accurate and appropriate for the individual in question. Now, that doesn't mean that certain people are more or less intuitive. Rather, it's simply a difference in style that needs to be acknowledged. When you realize that your abilities are just as powerful as the next person's, you're able to let go of the need to compare yourself to someone else. You then realize that your intuition is perfectly attuned to you. In order to explain what intuition is in the most inclusive way, we've called upon heavenly assistants. We've asked our angels to share their definition with you. They say, intuition is our ability to receive and interpret divine healing and supportive messages for your journey. It gives you the clarity to know that you are going in the right direction and to understand what changes you need to make in your life. In essence, your intuition is the divine connection that you have to the angels, spirit, the universe, and our creator. It is that telephone line to source. As you fine-tune your intuitive gifts, you're able to be more easily recognize what heaven is trying to tell you. The whispers from God and the angels that you hear in moments of calmness and tranquility are your intuition. You can understand then how it is much easier to tap into when you're feeling relaxed and at peace. It's a very different story if you go to the shopping mall on Christmas Eve. At that moment, so many different energies are rushing around you. People are getting caught up in stress and anxiety and a great deal of fear. In that moment, your intuition hasn't gone away. It just become more challenging to hear. As we teach you everything we've learned over our many years of connecting with God and the angels and being conscious of our health, you'll start to see that certain choices you make regarding your lifestyle and diet can dramatically enhance your intuitive gifts. You're truly able to connect with God and your angels, even on Christmas Eve at the shopping mall. Remember that when your life doesn't look the way you want it to, you have the power to change that. You have the ability to shape and create your reality, because what you do causes a ripple effect of change across the universe. Whether or not you realize it, the universe is reacting to every single step you take. It's viewed as a very deliberate and conscious action on your part. Ask yourself the questions: in what direction did I go with my last step? In what direction am I heading? If your surroundings are unlike the vision you have for your future, then let's choose to walk in another direction. Let's take the next step toward your goals rather than toward fear. Your intuition is unique to you. It's something that you need to honor and learn to trust. Start off by focusing on the small steps you feel directed to, so take that when your intuition hits you with big, life-changing, transformative guidance. You won't even hesitate. Throughout this book, we're going to give you suggestions for foods that will help keep your intuitive feelings switched on all the time. Because we believe that living a life according to your guidance is always going to lead you down a path of greater joy and well-being. Trusting your intuition. You might ask why our intuition isn't already fully activated. Well, this could be for a number of reasons. It may be due to your conditioning, the way in which your family behaved, the culture you were raised in, or just society in general. Your personality could also be a factor. If you're naturally a sensory, outer-focused person, you may stuff down or dismiss your intuition because you question what you can explain logically. If your family holds certain religious beliefs that you may have been taught, that is wrong to trust your gut feelings. Perhaps you were instructed not to express yourself, especially if your ideas and views were different from everybody else's. Maybe your culture encouraged you to believe that it's dangerous to embrace your psychic abilities. Society is constantly changing and evolving, and for a period of time, the cultural tide had turned against trusting our gut feelings. We were told that everything needed to be scientifically proven with clear results from clinical trials and medical studies to show us the valid choices for living in our lives. Thankfully, society is beginning to change, and we're seeing that our intuitive and spiritual gifts are once again being celebrated. Practical intuition. Our intuition is an inner voice that speaks with an essence of love. As we connect to that loving energy, we feel supported. We feel relaxed and safe, knowing that everything happening at this moment has a greater purpose. Begin with those small calls to action, the ones that say, today reach to out your friend, because who knows what the friend is going through at this moment. Understand that those gut feelings and that sense of urgency behind them may very well be life-saving for that dear loved ones of yours. If you hold on to that intuitive guidance, it's like a mail carrier receiving a parcel and refusing to deliver it. If you keep it to yourself, only one person is going to benefit from it, and that's you. However, if you choose to share that message, to have the courage and the confidence to speak what you feel, then it may change the lives of your loved ones and allow them to feel happier and freer and be inspired to then trust their own gut feelings. They, in return, will share their intuitive messages and the ripple effect spreads. As you listen to your inner guidance, it may tell you something simple, such as to switch lanes while you're driving in the car. It may become more complex, such as you need to leave that relationship, you need to change careers, or you need to move. Your intuition can be like an internal lie detector. When you meet someone, you can immediately tell if you like them, or if you can immediately tell if you like him or her, or if something about he or she is saying rings untrue. You get a sense of somebody's energy the instant that you make a connection, and your internal lie detector says, yes, this is a wonderful person, or it does the opposite and tells you to get as far away as possible you can. Sometimes you pick up on different energies when you're in somebody's home. Do you feel uplifted, or do you get a sense that the person is just trying to impress you? Is that energy stagnant with negativity? You'll know. So please trust the messages that you receive when you meet somebody or when you enter a new environment. Do so, especially if you're going to see a practitioners or healers, because if you go into a space feeling uncertain or afraid, that's a sign to step back. This is something that we've learned to listen to when we've been invited to attend particular seminars. We feel that our purpose here on earth is to help as many people as we can. We hope to spread healing messages about spirituality, natural health, God, and the angels. But we still have to trust our own intuition. Sometimes we get invited to speak at events that sound wonderful, but there is something in our gut that says don't do it. When we trust that information, even though it might feel uncomfortable at the time, we're then able to look back on that event at a later date and understand why we are guided to stay away. Often it's not because the organizers or attendees were bad or anything like that, but rather something else came up that more urgently required our attention. We might not even be able to give 100% at that particular event. Perhaps we'd been so busy throughout the year that we needed some time to rest. As you listen to your intuition, you learn that the way in which God and your angels communicate with you is special and unique, because you are special and unique, rather than feeling like you have to fit inside a box. Honor your own perceptions. Trust your intuition. Truly, it's the heavenly voice of God and your angels coming through. Science and intuition. At one time, intuition was considered an old wives' tale. Today, researchers have solid scientific foundations for the process of intuition. Thousands of studies support the value of intuition in decision making and finding creative solutions to problems. A recent study concluded that medical doctors can achieve better outcomes in their patients' care by calling upon their intuition. The researchers stated intuitive and analytical decision processes may have complementary effects in achieving the desired outcomes of patient decision support. A related study found that farmers use intuition more than analytics. Many studies have focused on our physical reactions to various situations, measuring blood pressure, brain waves, perspiration, and heart rate response to stimuli such as looking at emotionally charged photos or video clips. In some intriguing experiments, the participants' heart and other studies were shown to react to photo or even to photo or video even before the people being studied were exposed to the stimulus. Most of the experiments are double blind, which means that neither the participants nor the researchers know beforehand which type of image the person being studied will see. The studies show that our bodies know when something emotionally charged is coming our way. Perhaps you've had this experience yourself. When you woke up feeling excited or happy for no reason, or similarly, you felt a sense of dread on a day when something unforeseen and unpleasant later occurred. Research has demonstrated that our palms begin to sweat when we were around something harsh or dangerous several minutes before our conscious minds can register to the threat. This makes sense as the hands have a higher number of sensory neuronal connections to the nervous system. Scientists believe that if we can learn to pay attention to our palms, subtle signals, including perspiration, it would enable us to be consciously aware of it and avoid danger. Similar studies find that our heart rate and blood pressure increase when people are directing negative thoughts our way, and that these functions relax and decrease when others are thinking positive thoughts about us. It turns out that sending love is a measurable energy. Intuition works with the body systems. Our ancient ancestors relied on their intuition to ensure their physical safety. Imagine the vulnerable feeling of walking outside to forage for food, where you depend on your wits to stay alive. This is the same built-in system wild animals use for survival. While we now shop in grocery stores for food and live in houses, this doesn't mean that our ancestors' instincts have evolved away. Researchers have pinpointed the brain's right hemisphere, which is associated with emotions and the arts, as the center of our intuition. Additionally, the autonomic nervous system, also called our ancient brain, appears to be hardwired to instinctively react to potential danger in a way that could be called intuitive. The brain's limbic system, or feeling center, can sense danger detected by autonomic nervous system before it physically apparent. In this way, our intuition, if we listen to it, keeps us safe. In the face of stress, our nervous and endocrine systems works closely together to bring about harmony and balance. These two systems are linked by hypothalamus, a structure in the brain's limbic system. While the endocrine system is made up of many glands, the most important with the bearing on stress and intuition are the pituitary and adrenal glands. Let's look at how all these systems work together. When your nervous system recognizes a stressor, it sends a message to the hypothalamus, which releases hormones to deliver the message to the pituitary gland. Next, the pituitary sends out hormones influencing the adrenal glands. In turn, this causes your adrenals to release a hormone to reduce the effects of the stress. This pattern continues until your body is satisfied that you have enough stress-relieving hormones available. Your body then relaxes and the nervous system calms. However, if stress continues for extended periods of time, the biological exchange of neuromessages and hormones may become unbalanced. If the hypothalamus, pituitary, or adrenal glands become depleted, it creates a strong along the cascade. This causes a change in your stress response, energy levels, and hormones. By supporting your endocrine and nervous system nutritionally, you will help keep your intuition clear and sharp. And conversely, listening to your intuition is a big factor in reducing your stress levels, as it will guide you to avoid stress producing situations in the first place. Your intuition may also lead you to a stress management program that's custom tailored to your interest, schedule, and budget. Introducing the four clairs. We use our four senses feeling, which includes taste and smell, seeing, hearing, and thinking, to connect with the world. When we encounter something new, we automatically check in with ourselves to notice how we feel about the situation. We vigilantly scan for anything dangerous. We listen to our unusual sounds as well as pay attention to our thoughts. Yes, thinking is also a sense, the one through which we process information. These are primal responses we inherited from our ancestors, who had to depend upon their instincts to survive while they foraged for food in the wild. We share these same instincts with all sentient beings. For example, if it starts to rain, you see, hear, and feel the raindrops, and you process what you think about the change in weather. You can also taste and smell the rain, which falls under the category of feeling. You use these physical senses in response to physical situations. We have corresponding inner senses, which we use to process energy. As discussed before, studies how that our limbic, nervous, and endocrine systems can pick up on a positive and negative energy before our physical senses are aware of it. This is our intuition instinct. The four inner senses are clairresistance, which means clear feeling; clairvoyance, which means clear seeing; clairaudience, which means clear hearing; claircognizance, which means clear thinking or knowing. Since intuition is a normal part of human reasoning and decision making processes, as the scientific studies show, it seems that the four clairs may operate automatically and unconsciously. The question is whether we notice these responses and whether we trust their validity. How many times have you defied a gut feeling, only to later regret not heeding it? In other words, you already are intuitive. Even if you're not consciously aware of your intuitive process yet, being aware of your intuition has benefits, including having more confidence in your decisions, trusting the answers you receive intuitively, understanding and appreciating yourself. In the following chapters, we'll explore each of these inner senses and look at which foods lead to a heightened of your natural intuitive abilities.